Happy Friday. Welcome to the Dean Korp podcast. I'm Korp.
I'm Dean.
And first off, we want to welcome you in, but sorry that we were so delayed in getting you the next cast. There's just some COVID issues that everybody's dealing with. Nobody here has it, but
yeah,
it was just my mother had it, so we were just being smart.
Yeah, gotta stay safe. There was no sense in rushing it. That we're not going anywhere, and taking 1 week off the podcast. When I'm so proud of us for doing 14. You're proud of you. 14 fucking weeks without falter, right? We didn't miss. Did we miss
one?
Okay, so man, well, fuck.
It takes a little bit. I'm less proud of you.
Yeah, just knocking down that pride.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
But this is our 15th podcast, and I kind of wish it was our 13th podcast. Friday the 13th, that would have been sweet. But yeah, we're here this week, and
we have soon to have a new president.
Yeah, we were going to kind of talk about the president a little bit and the current state of that.
This goes back to exactly what I was saying to you, and I hope I said it on the podcast before, but about having the president only be elected for 4 years. Because then you're not depressed just playing golf, not doing your job.
Right.
Because you knew this was coming. You were leaving in 4 years.
Right. He went and played golf.
I would have went and played golf.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Like you lost the second biggest thing of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you won the first one to get in the office, and now you lost the second one. That makes you feel like people didn't want, half the people don't want you there.
Well, it's crazy because I think that the nuttiest thing about it is 74 million people said, I don't want Trump as my president. 70 million people said, I want Trump. That's that's both more than voted for Obama, which was the biggest turnout election ever. So this trumps it by a lot. So, thank you for the close to 146 million people who voted. That's awesome. I wish more Americans voted. And it's crazy that not every American votes. It's a wild notion that to be over 18, it's the one
What's
thing.
What's the number of how many people were we at?
So when I looked, I did basic Google research. I was how many adults are how many people are over 18 in the United States of America? 209 million, roughly.
Okay.
How many people voted this year? 146 million people. Yeah. So that's awesome. That is leaps and bounds better than any election.
Now,
ever.
Is that population counting people that can't vote for whatever reasons? Or
I would assume that does not count people who are federally incarcerated, because the only way you can't vote is if you were federally incarcerated. Right. So if you're a fellow prisoner, you can't do it. I wouldn't imagine that population is any more than, let's even highball it at 100,000 people. And that still leaves a significant amount. We can't have 2 million convicts. Maybe we could.
Yeah, put it at 2 million.
Yeah, you want to throw it at 2 million, and it's still an incredible turnout, because that puts you at 207 million people able to vote. It's not even that big of an, when you start adding millions into 100 millions, you just, it's $2. It's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. What is this? Everything with the roundup, man.
Yeah.
What is going on? Everywhere. It's COVID, let me round up now. What?
Are talking the numbers?
Yeah. We're using a card to pay for our Qdoba, and then you want to round up. Why?
Oh, are you talking about all the places that are asking you to round up your money? Yeah, no, I don't like it.
Fake change on my app isn't dirty.
That's crazy that somebody was we need to make more money. Let's ask people for their change.
Well, they're saying it's going to a charity. Round up and we'll give this to the charity. I want to believe that it is, but I did some work for a coupon book sales company that was a $40 coupon book, and the kids actually got $2 per book.
Oh, okay.
So I felt pretty salty about that when I found out. It's
that's $38 going to what else?
Yeah,
infrastructure,
salesperson.
Yeah, for sure, infrastructure.
The people making the books.
There's non-profit charities, but that doesn't mean people aren't getting paid.
But there's also profit charities.
Yeah, for-profit charities. People it's crazy. It just seems wild, a wild notion to me that you want to donate money to a good cause, and then somebody uses that money to support something that's not a part of the good cause. That seems counterintuitive to the cause thing. And I get it. Okay, you're Red Cross. You're a charity. You got a lot of people to pay. There's a lot of people who are working on your dime. Those people have to get paid. That's a fair argument, but I don't really know where the rest of their money goes. Charities aren't transparent enough, probably. But that's a whole nother fucking rabbit hole we could run down. But yeah, so we got a Democratic president. Our country's never been more divided. That kind of scares the shit out of me, Korp.
I'm not really too concerned as everybody else is.
No?
No, because like it is what it is. It's when it affects us on the state level that we riot and get pissed.
Right.
Because that's our home. When you're talking about our city,
right.
our city police doing bad stuff, our state doing opposite of what we want it to be.
Right.
Like that's when we go mad. It's not when like the federal government says something. Like a lot of times they make a rule and then like we're waiting on like legalized gambling still in the state. Like the federal government doesn't really
well, they made it legal. The state has to accept it.
Yeah, and it's got to trickle down so far. Mm-hmm. They're like, that's when it affects us, and that's when it. And so like Civil War and like the bad economy, like people are still gonna buy everything they were gonna buy. People are still inventing the same things they were gonna invent.
Right.
You know, everything's still gonna continue on.
Like something in your path. I want to say I could be that optimistic.
There's just too much going on for any one thing to just like, it's like you put like your finger in one hole of a sinking ship, but like there's another one and another one, and there's just too much technology. Like there's no way to stop it.
Right. I mean, like I feel like some of those things don't have to do with the other things, though. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about technological innovation, that's not going to stop. What the difference between any of that and like humanity moving forward, I feel like is your argument. We're always going to be going that way.
Yeah.
But like empires fall.
Well, we've done what we set out to do.
Right.
When
manifest destiny.
When the meteor comes and we're down to 1,000 people.
Right.
And we're at this point now where we're like populated the earth again.
Right.
And we're here.
Yeah.
You know, we're okay. Like we've made it.
Right.
At some level, like people like that 1,000. Could you be?
Yeah.
Well, remember, I'm going back to the
Grand
Hancock stuff, but like. And so, like, yeah, we've come so far.
Right. The whole world is fully populated. Every area is full of humans. There's food in abundance for most people. And, like, you know, we're doing pretty well as a race. But in terms of our country, like, what's going on, like, can affect us on a very real level, man. I think there's something to note when everybody's talking about civil unrest. And I like what you're saying, like, you and Chris share the same opinion. Like my bubble is my bubble. Like you can't like what I can handle, what's around me. That's what I got around me. And I think that's something that I'd probably be experiencing more if I was a father. Be like, I can only protect what I can protect in my family. And
because when it comes down to like talking about civil war and me coming out to do something against somebody else, it's gonna come back and get me. And now I put my family. No, wrong.
Right.
The house.
And that notion will keep us from it for a while, but you cannot ignore the fact that we are in the middle of like, okay, let's not say it's a civil war of like violence at this exact moment for most people, because in some cities still the rioting, still the occupation, still people upset about whatever they were upset about for like the last 5 months, right? Yeah. To these people, it means everything. And it always starts as something small. But these people mean to dismantle the government and rebuild it, whether they think it's for good or not, right? Because good and evil are only determined by what side you're standing on. So if to them, they feel like they're completely righteous good, right? Like, so you have 700. So just to back that point up, talk about the 74 million people who voted for Biden and the 70 million people who voted for Trump. Each of those groups of people thought they were the most right, the smartest, and knew the best idea, right? Well, and we're building.
Yes and no, because at the same sense, I don't feel like I'm into one of those characters as far as like I thought I was doing what I thought was right by voting for who I voted for.
Right. Yeah. But that's okay. But that notion right there are a lot of people who care about it way more than you and I do. And when it comes to just the voting and who's the president, like I care about it to an extent. What I'm really getting concerned about is like the division because of how divided we are. It's not like any other election. It's not like an election from the 90s where somebody won, somebody lost. Like people are rioting, people are hurting people over this, you know, like it's a different time. This Trump caused a legitimate controversy for all of American politics, caused problems and incited hate crimes. Like, he encouraged cultural hate. That's what I'm more talking about.
I think 4 years ago when I debating who to vote for then, the social setback was what I was afraid of.
Right. And this is a social setback.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, the economy does well. Economy's cool. That's fucking fine. We're in a capitalistic market. We're always set to do year better profits, right? You always want your profits to be better than the year before. That's how capitalism works.
Yeah.
Like that's what American corporations try to shoot for every year.
Correct.
We're trying to beat last year's profits. Fourth quarter's got to be better this year than last year. That is an impossible model. And that's why when the stock market crashes, it hurts us so bad. You cannot always do better than the year before. That is a crazy fucking model to obtain when you really start thinking about it. There's only $100 million that exists. I made $1 million last year. Next year, I need to make $2 million. Well, you're trying to claim a whole nother massive percent, whole percent of the entire economy. You're trying to own it. And then next year, you got to go 3 million. So now you're trying to own 3%. So like what we're at is late stage capitalism, right? Where 100% of the wealth existed. Everybody had the stake to get some of the wealth, but everybody needed to keep making more than they needed to make before. So we maxed out. Right now, we're at the max. All of the wealth that exists is owned.
Yeah.
Is owned by somebody. And so how do you make 101%? How do you keep making more money? You can keep printing it more. You could keep devaluing things. You could keep sending jobs overseas. Like this is why you're seeing like a lot of like manufacturing jobs they're trying to bring back to America. Like Biden said in his speech when he won, I'm going to put $300 billion into incentive for manufacturing jobs before I open any trade talks with China. Like we need to bring manufacturing back to America because we realized what we did when we sent away all of our manufacturing jobs was we sent away our ability to build things. We became a consumer's market. Literally Americans exist to buy. What are you doing? You're making money so you can buy shit. Other countries are making money so they can fucking survive. That's a totally different, you'll work for 32 cents an hour if you're trying to survive.
Yeah, if you haven't worked, you haven't eaten in 3 days.
You'll work for whatever to survive.
Yeah,
we're working to buy shit. Yeah. I'm looking to buy shit for my shit, and that shit has more shit for that shit. That we are a consumer's market. So
what happened? Might have said I bought a bunch of shit today.
Yeah, right.
I wasted my money on arts and crafts.
I mean, but how often is that phrase even just thrown around in America? Like, hey, what'd you buy today? I bought a bunch of shit. I just bought a bunch of shit today.
Yeah, a bunch of shit.
Because we all know it's just a bunch of shit. It's just a bunch of our own shit. And so I don't know
stuff that I legitimately might throw out at some point.
Right. I mean, dude, I've been there. I mean, I've bought stuff in my life and thrown it away that costed hundreds of dollars or, whatever it was. Wasted things, right? And that's a consumerism model.
We're not even talking about breaking them.
No, oh God.
That's a whole nother part of our life.
Right, breaking things so that you have to buy more things. Making things cheaply so that when it breaks, you have to go buy another one of the same thing. So
because even the expensive ones break. So if you can't do it with the small one, I got 50 of these tiny bowls.
Yeah, right. Dude, look at me now. I can't buy big bowls anymore. I will buy a $10 bowl for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I'll never spend more on that. And when they clog up, fuck them. I'm throwing them out and buying a new $10 one. Because I think about it. I just started thinking about it like this. 20 blunts cost $10.
Okay.
One bowl costs $10. I could probably get longer shelf life out of this than I could 20 blunts and stretch weed way longer before this gets clogged. And then I just throw it away and buy a new $10 one. It's the same thing as buying 20 blunts.
No, if it makes it through its life cycle, you should try and sell it. There's got to be someone out there that would give you $5 for it.
That just seems like.
But now you're cleaning it.
No, I'm not gonna clean it. You could have it for $5 and I'm not cleaning it.
It says in the title.
Yeah, not clean. You're getting a not cleaned bowl.
Freshly smoked. I took the last hit, packed it into the.
But I mean, I didn't mean to hit with such a heavy topic, but I guess I'm just venting about something that's been heavily weighing on my mind lately.
Yeah.
The division of America is real.
I don't mean to put my head in the sand, but it's the way that I developed to get through not getting the anxiety about things I can't control. Same thing with like football and fantasy football. I have no control of it and I hate it.
Right.
And I don't have any control of I can start the lineup the way I want to start it. But those players don't do any. I have it's not like a video game where I could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disinteresting into me because my one vote, my one thing, I feel like my voice isn't heard. And
see, and that's where they won. They won another American. They beat another American. With no defense, no disrespect or anything. That mentality is quite common, Korp, and it should be it should be the common mentality of anybody who's just lives in a first world country where we get to worry about buying shit and stuff.
Yeah.
And knowing we get to sleep warm tonight and knowing that we have people that we love to go to and It's not crazy chaotic around us. What I'm afraid of is that getting preyed on, and it is getting preyed on. Like you want to peel back the layers of mass mind control. Like
I think there's a lot bigger issues right now that are happening that I wish, like if I'm gonna stress out about that, then I'm gonna stress out about the kids that are getting abducted. Is my kid gonna get abducted? And I'm gonna drive myself crazy.
The rampant amount of pedophilia going on in our country right now, it's disgusting.
And like the trafficking.
That's human trafficking, and
that's awful. Like I couldn't imagine. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, think about it like this: like you slavery gets made illegal. People who own slaves, okay, sure, you owned one or two, like, oh man, I did a wrong thing. But the guys who owned 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 were doing it because they liked it. At some point, it became because they liked it. And they probably didn't stop owning slaves. And it probably just turned into a new kind of slave trade, because for everything illegal, there is a black market. For most things legal, there is a black market. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's terrible to fucking say, but like, you could make slavery illegal, doesn't mean it stopped. And most human trafficking, we changed the name of slavery because it sounds harsh. Maybe the Omega elite, maybe there's that Illuminati council, if that's actually real or something, branded it differently and called it human trafficking, when really what it actually is fucking slavery. Yeah. Like there's a slave trade going on. If you called it a slave trade, if the government came out and said, we've discovered a slave trade ring, people will go, slave trade? End this shit now. Where's the UN? Send in the troops. Where's the military? Stop the fucking slavery. But we call it human trafficking. It sounds a little different. It just doesn't sound as bad. It's bad. Oh, it's really bad. We want people trafficking humans. But human trafficking also sounds like you're moving people from point A to point B.
Really, what it sounds like is my son's in the room, and I'm not trying to have him hear and know exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
So instead of saying there's people getting stolen and taken as slaves, I'm saying, hey, there's human trafficking going on.
So you're trafficking people from one area to another illegally. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. To me, human trafficking would be taking a lot of illegals from Mexico or Canada, driving them on a fucking bus right over the border and trafficking them, a bunch of humans, to another area and then letting them go. But slavery is what is actually occurring.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's the stuff that like it sickens me.
Yeah.
And like I'll like physically feel ill if I like worry about that on a daily. So like my head, it's like, okay, what can let me listen to Joe Rogan while I drive. So that way I'm not thinking about it. And then to listen to other people talk about politics and their opinions in politics rather than like factual stuff is just unbearably bad. Sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like there are good people that can talk about anything that I can listen to, but like for the majority of politic talk, same thing with religion when it comes to that, where it's just like, if it's not done right, but like, okay, that's astronomy.
Yeah.
Think about astronomy. Astronomy is boring unless you have the right person teaching it.
Right.
And that, so it's not, maybe it's more of a me thing and the instructor that I need.
Right.
And then, that's why YouTube's so great, is there's so much.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta know who to listen to. Yeah. You gotta know what to find. Like I realized my YouTube addiction. I have a YouTube addiction. Like I thought I broke it by not being a part of Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, fucking whatever you're on, whatever big social media platforms, I'm not on them. YouTube might skirt the line of not being social media, seeing as I don't read or engage in comments. So there's no social part of it for me. I just watch a lot of fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've gotten reeled in by rabbit holes on YouTube, which means they're winning because they're showing me advertisements. So they're getting me on a platform.
I don't know. For me, I'm not on those. Like I have Facebook, but that's like to stay in contact with people. I have an Instagram, but like it's like I haven't been on it in like 5 years. Like I'm not taking pictures. I'm like I barely remember. Like I got too much other stuff I'm dealing with. Like I'm trying to like sliver out some me time throughout the day, and like when can I be done at work and
go spend some quality time with people you love.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Yeah, dude, I get it. And that's why it's hard to get all head in the clouds, like about all this crazy shit going on in the world. I totally understand. That's why I respect you and Chris with the bubble, because
I come home and
taking care of your
watching Netflix. There's no between 97.1 and my podcast. 97.1 is like a radio station, like a local radio station.
Yeah, in Detroit.
The podcast and YouTube, like I'm not like getting any information about anything useful in the politic world,
right?
Other than Joe Rogan, which is like the first experience with it.
Yeah, like I like it because he's usually not. He doesn't. For all the episodes I've really watched, they never get crazy heavy political.
Well,
like
he did have a candidate on.
Yeah.
So like that was like
right. He had 3. He had Bernie, Tulsi, and Yang. He gave them a platform because he liked
had a senator too just recently.
Oh, okay.
John Jones?
John James?
Yeah, maybe.
No, that's the guy who ran.
This guy from Texas.
Okay.
Texas.
Oh yeah, yes, he did have a senator.
Yeah,
on from Texas.
Yeah, I really like what he had to say. It was a great podcast.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, so even when he brings on politicians, he gets them to speak candidly.
Yeah,
that's the difference between what politics is, what we perceive it as crazy. It's the sports version of real life things going on.
It's like anytime though you listen to a politician, they take an extra breath before they speak, and there's that pause before they answer that always is going to make me think
you're lying
because they do it every time because they know that they do it when they are. It's a tell, but that's what it is. And I feel like you can do it any politician that's like and then speak.
Yeah. Well, like, so one thing I try to do to refer, because it totally sounds like you're lying.
Yeah.
When somebody goes, so where were you yesterday? And you don't go, oh, I was just fucking off. Like I was doing this. Yeah. That's a different way to lie, but it's usually now you're on to the second step where you're looking for a different thing of a lie, right? Yeah. But pausing when someone says, where were you yesterday? And going, yeah. And so I was like, they just thought of a whole story. Like you just made up a whole thing. Like you could have said anything in that time.
I guess you didn't know where you were yesterday.
Yeah, like you didn't know where you were 2 hours ago, an hour ago.
I mean, I smoke cloud weed. I know.
Yeah. I mean, that was a bad example, but like on something that you would be more keen to lie about, right?
Well, like they're asking you're prepared to answer these questions, so you like have that, but like you don't see it in football players a lot of times. They just like answer, or like after sports games interviews.
Yeah, well, it could be just fucking tired too. Yeah, just fuck off. Just answer whatever question you got.
Yeah, but no, I mean you're tired, but not tired in that kind of way. Like unless you've trained to play that sport efficiently for the amount of time that is allotted for that sport. Like
you're ready to play 3 hours, but the game's only
like you've trained a lot for this. You're a professional athlete
because you're only on the field. What 40 or 60 minutes of play for football.
It's 60 a quarter. Yeah, but it's like 15 a quarter,
right?
4 quarters, but like the way you're not on the field the whole time.
Right.
It's like if you're getting hit a lot, like then you're going to be sore.
Right.
You're like an offensive lineman. They're constantly in contact. Yeah, that's a different kind of sore. But those aren't the guys in the podium. Like if the quarterback doesn't get tackled a lot.
It's so how I get the QB, he throws.
Yeah.
Wide receiver catches the ball. Running back runs the ball. The people who touch the ball the most get the most attention. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a fucking 16 person, like
11 on 11.
11. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was 16. It's 11 people out on the fucking field, bro. Like, that's crazy. Only 2 get recognition. Gets recognition for the whole 11.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, they're paid fairly for what they do, but they're high injury positions, but high turnover. A lot of them that can do the same thing. So they water it down. We're like, there's only one Brady. There's only one Russell Wilson. There's only one Dak Prescott. Whereas there's multiple. There's the difference between lineman 1 and lineman 10 isn't as great.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then do that for all the positions, and then say, okay, well, as you get closer to 20 to 40, they're a lot closer.
Right.
They can do some things, and if they're with people that they can work well with, their sizes are the same, the offense is good, they might be better suited for certain offenses, and so there's a lot of mix and matching and
okay. I mean, it is a big team game. I just feel bad for the unsung heroes, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, if you play well at your position, you'll usually get recognition. There's people watching.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're watching on TV, you're watching the one camera that's following the ball that changes. There's nothing you can do. It's really hard to follow anything offensive lineman.
Right.
It's you have to go out of your way to watch a certain stream to watch only the offensive lineman.
Oh, okay. They have that though?
I'm sure they do.
Oh,
I know they have different streams for basketball. So at one point they were heavily advertising it, but it might be an after game service, so something you can go back and watch a replay of this game from any angle.
It's kind of sweet.
Well, they offer fantasy football is huge, and people need a way to watch the games that they couldn't watch.
Yeah, and you probably like when you're doing fantasy, you want to see how people are moving, right? So you know how to make decisions on like people.
Well, if you're like receivers like 0 for 5 for the day, but like the balls were like uncatchable, and that's because the backup was in. You'll see that if you watch the game. If you don't watch the game, you just look at the stat line. You're like 0 for 5. He dropped the ball 5 times.
Oh yeah,
but maybe he didn't really have like it was.
Might have not had a chance at it at all. Yeah, he's not a bad receiver. He just had
exactly those eyeball tests, like knowing that, like okay, but then it's like okay, you got 5 targets with the backup. Okay, like he was in the game plan. You can make some decisions off of that.
Yeah,
but like it's so time consuming. I do that. I'm like, I'm over it, man. I think I'm retiring.
Yeah, it's time, dude. Yeah, whatever.
I'm either gonna watch football every Sunday or I'm retiring.
Well,
and I don't feel like watching football every Sunday.
Why don't you retire and just watch football when you fucking can? Pick one team.
I don't know, man.
Become a fan of the Detroit Lions, watch the Lions game, and then turn the TV off.
No, because like it's gross to be a Lions fan.
Well,
I don't feel good about it.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Why don't we have a choice in what sports teams we can like? This is
okay. You do. My dad's a Cowboy shit everywhere.
Yeah, but like he made that decision long ago, where whenever he did, he made it and committed to that.
Okay.
If I was gonna say that I'm not a Lions fan, if I was gonna say that I'm not a Lions fan, I would only be lying to everybody.
How old are you?
I'll be 33 at the end of the month.
Okay, in 20 years, everyone's just gonna remember for 20 years he's been a blank fan, and they'll never remember when you were a Lions fan. You can't use that logic
because I had no reason to like a different city's team. Like if I move somewhere. Done. Like we're like.
Well, I mean, it's the same. Like, how many people were New England fans because they like Tom Brady? Find a player who you like or a coach you really enjoy, and become a fan of the coach. Become a fan of him for different reasons. It can't just be the city thing. Like I was a really big fan of the Seahawks for a long time because I liked the way Russell Wilson played football. When I was into football, I really enjoyed the way Russell Wilson played football, and I started watching Seahawks games in my free time. Like. Just not even that I cared about.
I mean, Russell Wilson. I have reasons to watch games. I have players I like, but at some level, it's just like I've had too many leagues and too many teams.
Be a fan of that team. I think you're looking at it from the wrong perspective.
I don't know which team to even pick.
Darts and a fucking piece of paper.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to end up shooting it at Cleveland.
Okay. Well, anything but an Ohio team is totally fine.
Even in the Midwest, I would want somewhere because I'm going to want to go to that team's. Like going to LA,
Colts.
Going to the
Colts are solid. The Colts probably need more fans.
No, I got a buddy that's a Colts fan. I don't want to jump on his wagon.
Okay,
it would feel weird.
You need a wagon that nobody's occupying. Oh, like just be. You can always just be. We can't pick anyone in the Lions.
No,
so that's just a bad move.
No.
So that takes out 5 teams. You can't pick any of the.
When I was younger, I was a 49ers fan. I have pictures with me in 49ers gear, so maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, there you go. It's continuity too. It's in your storyline. Like you can tell people like I've been a Niners fan since I was a kid, and hold up a picture,
like have a picture framed. Like like always. Oh, look at here, my wallet.
It's like a Niners wallet. You could always be be a Buffalo fan. Bills? Who's like the Bills?
I like the Bills. I mean, it's just
I don't know. It's just something to ponder.
It's not gonna make me like them. Like just being like, oh, I'm a Bills fan. Like I'm just not all of a sudden. It's like I don't like.
Yeah, I get it.
Cool.
Well, why don't you just peruse some random games and like one season you'll catch some people that you like watching the way they play. Like I don't know. I'm not a Lakers fan, but if you put back on.
Because there's only one way to get me to care about sports again.
I know.
And I'm not doing it, so I don't care. So I don't even watch them anymore because I'm not gambling.
Because I just like watching people play things they're fucking dope at.
It's not fun to watch football after you won and lost thousands of dollars. That just watch it. It's like a normal game.
I think you just need to reset it as a normal game.
It's just like not.
It's a fun normal game, man.
I'd rather go play it.
Oh well.
I want to do something physical.
What about a different sport? Are you a hockey fan? I'm not a hockey fan. You want to get into hockey together?
If you would like to get into hockey, you can join my fantasy hockey league.
Bro, you just told me. No, bro. I want to be like a Red Wings fan. I want to sit down like at least once a week and catch like a Red Wings game with a buddy and just watch them play hockey. Yeah. Yeah, let's fucking just sit.
She's been trying to get me into hockey for a while.
I would like to sit down and watch hockey and enjoy it.
The problem is the Wings are also bad right now.
That's fine.
All our teams. This is like the worst it's been in Michigan. So Michigan State are just doing really bad. They're just like Michigan State is expected to be bad. They got a new coach. The Lions, and then our basketball team's bad. Our hockey team's bad. Our baseball team's bad. Like
nothing says great fan like I was a fan when they were bad. And then because in like 10 years, if they get good, then you'll be like, yo, I was a fan. All right. Let's you want to do
because
Vegas
now
nights?
It's going to be like, hey man, I've been a fan for 50 years and they still haven't been good, because that's what Lions fans are. Yeah, that's where we've been 50 years of being shitty.
Yeah,
like real bad.
The time's coming.
3 playoff wins.
Because like, dude, stay a Lions fan now, right? Because then it's 20 years from now. You're 53.
Yeah, but 20 years ago,
no. Like what I'm saying is that in 20 years, if you're a fan, you'd be like, for 7 years, your team has sucked. And they're going to suck until my grandkids have kids. And then they will suck until your grandkids have kids. And then that kid will be able to say, my great-great-grandfather was a Lions fan. And my great-grandfather was a Lions fan. And my the whole lineage through.
Just do it because...
And we finally ended up winning. And this was for like 6 generations, 7, 8 generations, for like 110 years of Detroit.
The city is going to shut down for like a few days.
I know. Like, it'll go nuts. Good Lions ever take a Super Bowl, there will be a riot that you've never seen, because like nothing says like pent up ejaculation. And then, it's 110 years coming. Yeah, just hearing that number, like, we haven't come in 100 years.
That's crazy.
If you like a monk, like a monk.
I think it was 1950 that we went to the Super Bowl, and then like never won it.
That's a bummer.
Like, yep, this is the team I get. This is my lot in life.
But that's being a fan.
But I can't lie. Like I try not to be a Lions fan because it pains me to be a Lions fan.
But you know what? That's fine. But a little bit.
Like a little pain makes it real, though.
Yeah, like it's all good, dude.
It's more of a decision making problem than it is like on the field stuff that is just like frustrating. That's like you're not like.
I mean, like, okay, Glenn, your high school.
Yeah.
When you guys played, were you the best team?
No.
Okay.
No,
but like,
that did not feel good.
But did people
show
the
year prior?
Yeah,
we were the best.
That's a bummer. So like, take something like that, right? And you've probably had people locally who are fans for how long? Years.
Yeah.
So at that point they go, well, we know Glenn's not going to go fucking to regionals, and then they're going to go to states, and then they're going to go to do whatever. But like the games that they win, cool. Like, fuck yeah, we did it. We won a game. Like, that's sweet. That one game.
Well, that Friday night was way better for me than
we won or
lost.
Friday, like your Friday night, your weekend's a little bit better, and it could just be that one weekend. But like every time you lose, if you go 3 games losing, when you win one, you're like, yes, like we fucking won. Like, it feels good. Like, it's good to put a W on the board. I mean, I'm definitely rooting for something that I'm not even interested in right now, which is funny, but I want to be. I enjoy what sports do, because I saw what it did to Vegas, and I wish I would have jumped more on the bandwagon with everybody to get in on the Vegas nights, because it took a city that I had multiple times said had like no culture, too transient. Like, I was not I'm probably like a 70% fan of living there for 5 years of my life. Like, it was an okay place. Like, there's not a lot of camaraderie in Vegas, like, to the common man. Like, but in Michigan, there's like just an understanding. Our state's old, and it has 6 sports teams that, like, you go to the bar. I was sitting, Raiden's wearing a Michigan hoodie. I'm sitting next to a guy wearing a Michigan State hoodie. I'm sitting next to a dude wearing a fucking Lions like jerk, like he had a Lions like logo on his jacket, and like a dude with a Red Wings hat down at the end of the bar. Like, all different teams, all different sports, all from one place. We are Michiganders. Like, fucking that's what builds like camaraderie between people. So Vegas never had that, and I like,
well, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Why are we gonna have a sports team in the most corrupt gambling thing at the time? Like,
now there's 2.
Well, because technology makes it so difficult to like get away with what people were getting away with.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you could be a murderer. Like, they were talking about that on other podcasts, like about how like, oh, somebody strangled somebody and then they died and he got 3 years. Like, no, he murdered them.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Something on the Joe Rogan
podcast.
Okay, it happened in like 83.
Yeah.
And
they called it something completely different?
No, he just said that the wording of it was like they strangled him. She strangled her into it's the chick from Poltergeist.
Poltergeist?
Yeah, it's the chick, one of those chicks from there. And somebody strangled her and then she died. Like, no, he strangled her to death. Yeah. Like it was just like worded so silly.
Yeah, like that is a silly ass way to word shit.
But like you only got 3 years and it's like it's fucked up.
That is fucked up. 3 years in 83.
Like
yeah. But so and then I'm sorry, I didn't follow the line of how does that affect the gambling? Like,
but just like there's so many things you can get away with when there's no technology.
Right. Oh, okay. So yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big mob city, and the mob would have infected. Oh, yeah, because probably wouldn't want the mob to infect the leagues.
Well, they already were in like other cities, so like we put it right there where it's like, no, man, you're gonna throw this game,
like the lawless
lots of money, or we're gonna kill your family.
Yeah,
like some real shit like that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't do this, like you're gonna die.
Probably.
And like they could get away with it. They were like
you can't really be. It's a lot harder to do that now. And if it is being done,
well, it is because look at what's his face, the dude that got like killed in the jail cell that he was gonna
Epstein.
Yeah, like
that's a different kind of assassination.
Yeah, like yeah.
What a wave.
Yeah, I guess
I've been into that one too lately.
I haven't gone down that. See, like that. I don't know. I'm in a certain trance right now with the hobby that I've picked up. That it's just like
keep it that like
one track.
That's how I feel with carpentry.
I kind of want to take my foot off the pedal a little bit and just like enjoy it rather than like now that I have all the material, I can do it the way I want instead of like trying to like search on my phone and like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna spend $40 on this piece of material, or am I gonna?
Dude, that's how I feel too. Like I finally have acquired like there's one more tool that I want.
Yeah,
like maybe 2, and like the second one's a replacement for a tool I already have, just a nicer version. So I don't even really need it, right? Like dude, hobbies are great, man. I'm glad a lot of us have like in the group of friends have gotten into.
They're hard to find, man. They're hard to find. I think what's hard. I think it's hard to start something that you're bad at and doing something like painting or singing or playing a musical instrument, something that you've never been good at in your life as an adult, and doing it and learning how to be good at it. Like working out for some people, you know, like it's a whole nother like way of life. Eating right, you can even go into that. Like someone like me that like I don't drink and eat on schedule ever any day. Like, I don't drink enough water. like I have to like try to do it. I have to change 30 years of habit or whatever, 20 years, whatever you want, 15 years, whatever you'd say.
I mean, it depends on the habit, right? Like breaking habits as a grown ass adult.
But I think that's also different than starting habits.
Absolutely. It's hard to get into new habits because you're so rigid. So you're in the habit of not starting new things, right? Yeah. And starting new things is a habit. Like you have to get in. I kind of firmly believe that, and I feel like I've heard it from a smarter person before, that like getting into doing new things is like doing a new thing. Yeah. Like if you like in its own right.
For us, a big key has been scheduling and like taking the time to say, no, what day actually can we do this?
Yeah.
And pin it down. Whether it's like, okay, we're not going to do it for 4 weeks, but we're going to do it that day in 4 weeks.
Yeah. And well, so here's the biggest thing for me was like, on your point of like, okay, we have things scheduling, like that wasn't happening for me as much in Vegas. But when I came back home and had friends and like a support in the community, people wanted to be around me and vice versa. Like, not that wasn't like that in Vegas, but people out there don't like hang out ish in that way, like without going to the bar, like without going to do something, without going to do this and do that. Like I have friends here who I could sit here and do this with for 5 hours. You know, that's why I like podcasting with you, because we've always had good, interesting conversations, and we've always talked about recording them. But like the one thing, you know, I said is like we try to do it over the internet. It doesn't feel organic.
No, because we're not like talking. I don't get to look
what's your face look like? Like, you know, we're always on a quarter second of lag or whatever it is, or like you try to laugh at a joke and it's like ha ha ha. Incoming, and then at the exact same time, and then it just sounds terrible. Like, you know, it ruins the human experience. But like being back home with this group, you know, has encouraged me to like, I missed everybody. I've taken this as my second chance. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to live around anybody again. And not to say I took any of my early 20s for granted, being around like you guys and like all the people who I really love. Like, I never took it for granted. But in the being gone for 5 years, I fucking missed it like crazy because I never took it for granted. So like I want to like make it, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I want to really fully appreciate it being back after not having it and having it. You know, like I want to enjoy the company of my friends more and like make that work and like be around people more, because I always, I didn't keep in contact when I was gone. And maybe that's like my own guilty self, trying to make up for that. But I want to I like having good friendships and good connections with people. I think it's important. I realize how important it is.
The older we get, the less of us there are, and the more we realize that amount of time we have isn't always going to be here.
Right.
And there's more and more like factual evidence of that happening with losing people.
Right.
And so it's like, well, I'm going to do what I think I should do, that I need to do to support my family, and then do things I enjoy and figure out how do I go about doing this so that way it doesn't affect anybody negatively.
Right.
And like, if it's video games, then like there's a way I could play video games, whether it's an hour a day or like 3 hours on a certain time frame. But I can put that into a schedule, and no one should be having issue with that.
Right.
And like everybody in my life should have those things. That's how it was growing up. Was
right.
Like school, sport, sleep, school. Yeah. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like usually it was 2 sports as I got older because I was athletic.
Right. So, just more opportunity.
But when like you got people asking you and like then they come to you the next day and ask you, and it's like,
yeah,
all right, I'll go play track. Like,
yeah,
this guy really wants me to
I'll go play track. Yeah.
I hate track.
What'd you run?
Whatever he told me.
Damn crazy. Just
one lap. Okay.
Yeah.
Like done.
Oh, you did like the 400.
Yeah. Whatever he wanted.
I used to go to
the 800 he wanted me to do one time.
8.5 mile.
I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
You probably be solid at a 400.
I don't like running. No, like I just like I don't like the contact on the cement. I like having cleats on and like being on the grass, like a nice surface. Outfield, bro, I'm out. I'm like.
That's probably why they wanted you on track. Like just all fast you were.
Yeah, I played center field.
Yeah, I mean, like you'd be great at like a 4x4. That's probably what they
tracking down the ball is so fun.
Yeah,
you just like see it. Like,
dude, I always watch track when it's Olympics. Like track is one of my favorite. Like I think it's dope watching people run at like insane speeds.
See, like I don't mind watching that over some of the stuff they have on the Olympics. I don't know.
It's just crazy how fast people can run.
Like, yeah, when I'm standing at work and I'm working at a restaurant and track's on, that's cool. But if I'm like at home, it's like next channel.
I guess I have like a subtle. I just went to a lot of meets in high school because one of my good friends back then
trying to holler at some chicks. That's why you're at meets in high school.
I just went with my friend.
Wanted to be social around other people.
Yeah, I mean, I was like definitely the black sheep. Like I was the chubby, half Asian kid.
There's somebody out there for you, man.
Yeah, I found her.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
I've seen some things.
I didn't have the confidence at the time.
All it takes is that swing. And you're like, oh, I hit a home run.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know. It's hard for me. It's like other things that like I had it good in high school, so it's like hard.
We always have this contrast because I had just such a derpy time in high school. Oh, we stopped recording on Anchor like 20 minutes ago. Oh no.
Well, and that's the podcast.
Yeah, no, right? Like, have a good night, everybody. See you later.
Oh, sorry, those of you on other streaming services, Spotify. There was a recording issue there, so you might have missed a little bit. So.
Recording issue. We just didn't hit the play button, the start recording button again. If you want to catch the missing 13 minutes, go to YouTube. Give us some views on YouTube.
Yeah, give us some views. Give us some likes.
Yeah, if you guys talk to us via any of those platforms, we should be able to respond. Korp and I are not.
We explained how we're not on social media.
Yeah, so. We just said it a minute ago. We suck at this kind of stuff. We want to talk to people, but we don't know how. We can
create a Discord for everybody. That's something that we're on Discord because we communicate for that. So maybe if people are interested.
Oh, there's somebody watching. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in. One person on YouTube.
But it's always like, who do I know?
That's right. Hi, Mom. Mizpah, Brittany.
Yeah. Somebody got the alert. We're 44 minutes in. This is an enjoyable conversation. I almost feel like we owe it to the people that keep talking.
Yeah. So. What the fuck are we talking about?
A lot, man. We're breaking it down. Schedule your life.
Yeah.
Start hobbies. Do stuff.
Yeah, do stuff. Go outside. Be aware of what's going on with the silver unrest in the world, but also don't let it get to you on a daily basis. Like, still pursue your craft. Like, I want to be a sick ass carpenter, whether the country goes to civil war or not. That's my that's my creed right now. Like, I'm aware that it could happen. Still want to be a dope carpenter. Like, that's what my goal is.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be the best salesman I can be.
There you go, man. Just fucking have goals and achieve them.
Yeah, I'm swinging for the fence. 2020 is mine. 2021 is mine.
Yeah, 2020 was China's.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, like, not just you, but the one person watching, like, there's a couple documentaries on China and what's going on over there right now. We should be like, whoa, they're that much more advanced than us. Like, I feel like when you tell somebody, think about China, what do you think about? Just give me the basic, like, rundown.
I think of the flag. That's one of the first things.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
that makes sense. It's the country symbol.
Yeah.
What do you think of the land? What do you think of, like?
I think of
how the people live.
How they
because I was going straight, probably somewhere wrong. So no, I didn't lead my question properly.
What is it called? What is the emperor?
Yeah,
I visualize like that, like the stairs leading up to the chambers or whatever that area is. I don't know the name of the. It's not a castle, but it's
palace.
Palace. That's
it's probably more of a palace.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How do you think the people live?
Well, I've seen pictures of like smog, right? Like masked constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure it's like on top of each other, almost like city, like New York City style, more so than out here where we have big houses and lots of space and
suburbs.
Throughout, like we have Wi-Fi in 12 different tablets and
right.
Like everybody's got a tablet, a phone, a computer, a console.
Okay. Yeah, it is pretty much like that. I'm not sure. Like, there's some that I know, like, that for a fact, like, they don't use paper money anymore. They've almost completely got rid of paper money overnight.
We got to be close in some level.
People in America are so far from that. No way.
I don't know, man.
People would trip the fuck out
in like all of 2020.
Right. Well, okay, so they're away from credit cards too. Everything's on their phone. There's a QR code. You scan on your phone.
See, I don't like that.
See?
They already have it though, so it doesn't matter anyway.
But like, if you think about doing it on a mass scale, into the terms of where like credit cards aren't even accepted, and how much faster transactions are. Like, you just scan a QR code. You want to go buy something from the market.
They have it on.
Yeah.
On my iPhone right now. They have like Apple Pay.
Yeah, right. I love Apple Pay, and I think like we're almost there, dude. Apple Pay's sweet. Speedway is like the only place that lets you use it though.
It's any of those things now. When was the last time you tried?
Where?
Yeah, all of them now.
Anywhere?
Not as long as they have like the black one, not like the small gray one.
Yeah.
So like,
it has to say tap on the top too, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well, maybe because all the places I've been out and about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm.
Well, oh shit! Maybe we're almost there. I was giving us not enough credit, but they've been on that for like 3 years.
Any of the ones that look more modern.
They've also been spitting out like 3 millionaires a month compared to like our half a millionaire a month. And they're also going through like some of the biggest developments for like roads and city living, agriculture, and other like massive technological innovations.
The reason for technology is need.
Yeah.
And like when you give yourself a need, it's like, okay, well, we're going to be out of coal.
Right.
We're going to be out of fossil fuels.
Right.
Okay. We're going to figure out that need. Okay. How do we replace that need?
Yeah.
And it's like
Alaska.
No,
Alaska and start digging.
Yeah, but like, okay, but like then at that point there's going to be like this race of technology. Everything's going to shift in the technology to like come up with stuff that would make this, how do we replace all these across the board? Because it's not just cars, but I mean, like, it's like everything.
Yeah,
it's like an infrastructure.
Well, like, because you're talking like, oh man, when it comes to if you want to replace oil, right?
Yeah.
Something as simple like is that like you want to replace what we burn for energy. Everything around us right now, aside from the actual wood in this room, is a byproduct of petroleum.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Well, because
we can't, like, there's no other material like plastic. There's no other, there's nothing like it. Like nothing. Like that, if it was there, we'd be using it. you know, like, and the only way to get plastic is by burning oil. Plastic's a byproduct of oil. Plastic's a byproduct of making like, to be more specific and probably more wrong than I am, because I'm not an expert about any of this shit, but to make oil and plastic, I'm pretty sure you have to, when you turn it into ethanol or into another substance, but like what we use for gas, pretty much. And so plastic becomes a byproduct of that. And like everything in this room has a component of plastic of it, and everything in our daily lives do. The fabrics you're wearing, synthetics, or plastics, just thinly woven plastic. I don't know. I think it's super ambitious right now. I know this is like a total topic shift from what we were just talking about. It's super ambitious to say like we could just get away from all of it. I'm starting to slowly realize that it was someone on Joe Rogan's podcast that said something about it and talked about the way of like trying to dismantle, like, okay, the Green New Deal. It's like Biden's Green New Deal he was talking about. It's like, sounds like a great idea. Like, let's get off carbon. Like, let's go, you know, like start using more wind, more solar, super sick, like renewable resources, renewable energy. Like, that's cool, but like you can't pilot an Apache helicopter with wind and solar. Like, you need fucking fuel.
No, but
you
like
can't pilot F-16s with, you know, without jet fuel.
But that's one thing.
That is one thing. Okay. But you also can't make any of the stuff that we use on a regular daily basis without petroleum byproducts as well.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it for sure, but
yeah.
But I think on some level, if everybody put solar panels on their house, and then we started like, okay, well now we have like a mass supply of energy, rather than like burning it all. Like we're at least producing enough for ourselves.
We could probably stop the damming problem in America with that. We could probably stop, like, because damming is terrible for the environment. We're learning, because like when they started building dams at the level that we build them now, where we like block off entire sections of the Colorado River, like it's really bad to do that. Like it's not a productive thing for like the environment and the wildlife to be doing shit like that. Like it's really, really bad.
Well, as humans, we really don't care about the environment.
No. And right. And like that's,
someone was like, oh, let's just put concrete over everything.
On all of it. Every bit of it. Yeah. So it's an interesting notion to think about getting away from oil, because I just don't see it happening, man. Not anymore. I did. I was really optimistic. Like we could get away, renewable resources, renewable energy, and you just like sit here and like really look at everything, and our entire way of life and infrastructure is built upon it. Everything is built upon it. We're running downhill full speed into like a pit of like lava, and we can't stop. And if we stop and we trip, it might make everything worse. You know what I mean? Like it could incite wars. It could incite, like, think about the repercussion really when you take away like the one thing that makes the world run properly. Like you're going to take away a lot of America's power. And then there's the whole problem too then. So like I'm speaking about this like as a somewhat anti-globalist. Like I don't think I've been a pretty big anti-globalist lately. I'm not a fan of globalization. I'm not a fan of taking away stuff from America. Not a fan of a lot of our jobs going overseas, and I'm not a fan of like.
No, I think
like a lot of the way that we give away what made America great. We've given a lot of that away, and I don't think that's great. I don't think that's a good thing to give away all the steel and manufacturing.
We can't isolate ourselves either, so it's like you have to play the game and do the dance.
I definitely think you have to play the game and do the dance, but I don't think that you have to be submissive and ignore your own country's issues,
right?
Like the lack of jobs and the lack of structure. We, like I said, they've ignored us to the point where we've become consumers. They were so worried about selling Americans things, they sent all of the jobs that Americans could use to pay for the things to another area. That's how concerned they were with selling things. We like to buy things. There are other countries in the world that are focused solely on work, and they're doing it. Like, and they're working fucking hard, and we're over here like, when's my new Xbox coming? Like, when's my new little?
Like, I don't feel good. I'm going home sick.
Yeah, like, this thing, that thing. Like, that's why I have this like
this Taco Bell.
Yeah, like, oh man, it sucks getting food when I want to get it. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks having a bed to sleep in. Like, oh, this bed isn't good enough for me. This pillow sucks. I need new clothes. I need a better this. Like, we're lucky to have any of it, you know, like and that mentality is bred solely from a consumerism standpoint, because like we've been sold a different dream, right? Think about like the information you're taught. You're taught that when something is old, it's bad, so throw it out and buy a new version. Like that's a pretty inherent idea in a lot of people.
You don't think we could have come up with a shoe that like lasts a lifetime?
For sure.
Like why would they
do
some
hard ass rubber? They have light bulbs that haven't burnt out yet.
Yeah,
150.
It took them a long time to get there. I didn't want to give that
you
don't think there's like a extreme version of the iPhone that's like is better than anything that's ever been.
The government uses it. You know what I mean? There's always better stuff, but you can't sell people better stuff on a year for profit model.
Not in capitalism.
No, not in late stage capitalism. They're trying to milk all their money back. They have it so perfect set up to get their money back. Like Jeff Bezos is so smart. Like let me open a place where you can buy everything, hire shitloads of people, and then give them money so they could turn around and buy shit from me. Yeah. Like I got the cycle going. Ford was like the first person who did it with cars. He was like, I got to make my cars affordable for the people who can work for them. So let me pay all my people $5 an hour. So after a year, they can buy a $400 car.
Yeah, if they've been working on it, they're going to want one.
Yeah, they're going to want one. They're going to save up all their money. Let them buy a house for, $120 first. Like $5 a day, like the $5 a day changed everything for everybody, right? That's actually stimulating the economy so that people can buy your stuff. The crazy part is that like people aren't getting paid enough to keep the economy stimulated the way they want it to. But what happens to small business when you raise the minimum wage? Small business dies. Corporations have to come in and take over, and it's another way to corporatize America even more. It's all part of their scheme. Like I feel a scheme. It feels schemy. Like when you start saying stuff out loud, you're like, how could they not be realizing? If I'm a stoner in a garage and I can see it, that means somebody who makes a lot of money knows way more about it than I do.
Yeah.
Like who's going like, yeah, this is a pretty easy tide to turn. Let me put these people toward this direction. Let me teach consumerism.
Well, and I think it also goes back to a lot of people being in student loan debt and being in this cycle of we went to school for a job that doesn't exist for our degree.
That's a hurtful thing to America too.
Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not necessarily the educators, but it's the people that like make these classes available to get your degree that like don't really like. It's got to be a combination of like being smarter people that go to like pay for these classes that like I'm not learning anything. I don't need a fourth history class.
Well, like if you were smart, like I feel like one thing that we just messed up on big time, and it's kind of our parents' generation's fault. And I don't think it was anything cynical. I think it was everything to do with love. They loved our generation. So the ones who bore our generation, the millennials, loved us so much because they worked so hard through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, doing labor, doing hard jobs, working in these, factories, doing what they had to do, that they said, I don't want my children to do that. I want my children to be a boss. I want to be a white collar. And what do all these white collar people at the time have in common? They all have education. Yeah. So they saved up every ounce of every dollar they ever made and put their kids through school and put them through, forced them, told them, you have to go to college. You're going to college. You have no option. For like, what's the graduating high school? It's become a cold part of our culture. What college are you going to? Where are you going to for college? Where are you going to go pursue more education? But there's whole other options in life. Like, as a lot of people learn once they drop out of fucking college, or when people get a college degree and can't do anything with it. And then they go and end up working in a job where they don't even use that degree or doesn't even really apply to them, but they make amazing money and now they're digging themselves out of debt. And they're like turned out to be a wonderful entrepreneur. We didn't teach them entrepreneurship. We taught them a system. Yeah. We were taught a system. And that was, I think, done out of love. They loved us so much they didn't want us to work hard. And now we're reaping the consequences with 3.5 million jobs in the skills that aren't, like in the trades that aren't taken and filled. 3.5 million jobs that pay well as fuck. Like, like better than most, like more than you'd make flipping burgers at McDonald's or flipping burgers at an Applebee's or whatever it is. And you get to learn to work with your hands, which is real information.
And it's rewarding in a way that most people aren't fond of, or maybe not fond, but like aren't used to.
Right. Well, because they didn't want us to work hard. So they didn't teach us their hard work. They gave us everything, but what made them amazing. I think that's the fallacy of parenting.
Well, I think what it is too is, man, it is easy to hand a tablet to your kid and not be as interactive of a parent.
Right.
Than like what I got as a father and a mother.
Right. No, I feel bad for the like kids that have that happen to them all the time. I think. Yeah. Can you let us finish?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that I see it happen to kids all the time, like in restaurant, working in the restaurant, and just put a fucking tablet in front of them. I saw one mom put the earphones in her kid's ear and just put the tablet on and like.
How old was the kid?
2, 3. The baby. It was like a young kid, like Theo age, like that kind of.
Well, Theo's 4. If he wanted to like have his tablet at some point, we used to let him have it, but now we don't because he's older. He was in this age gap where we let things fly because of other things in our lives.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, we have our place and like we can have the rules. So we can have the rules and
spend more time with your kid. Yeah. But like you're cognitive of that, your ability to change. Like these are like, I just felt different. Like the way they did it, I couldn't see you doing that like that to Theo. Yeah. I couldn't see you like your kid was being annoying, so you threw a phone in front of them and like said, shh, like just watch this. Like didn't want to be a parent at that moment. And
I mean, I did that when he was younger, when he was like, we were up late and he had to like stay awake before we got home, so he slept when he got home instead of like falling asleep while we were at like a Christmas party or something like that.
Right. Okay.
And like trying to get him to stay awake so that way when he went home he slept through the night.
Yeah. I guess I don't think about stuff like that then.
Like Brianna's real good about that kind of stuff. So like she knows like his schedule and what he needs. Like he's like on a 12-hour sleep schedule, and he doesn't get it, you can be a dick.
Yeah.
Like that's just a kid though. Like he's 4. I mean, like that's a big thing with the kids too, is like they need way more sleep than they're getting.
Yeah, for sure. They say children need a lot of fucking sleep.
Yeah. Like their personality changes. Like when we were able to give Theo a nap a day, he was like such a like happy all the time because he got his proper sleep. When he's like going, that's why he goes to bed at 6:30, 7:30.
Right.
Because he's like everything's like miserable, like not miserable, but like the sky is falling, like like everything's falling down. Like it's just like for no reason. Like I don't feel like walking. Like,
just done with it.
They're like, okay, well now we're going to bed. You don't feel like walking, like
it's just being a brat.
Yeah, like and like he doesn't act like that unless he's super tired. And like, it's like time for bed. Like I was like, I can tell who's tired, But that's, I mean, it comes with time.
Yeah. I guess I'm just like afraid of like, we didn't have that happen to us when we were kids. So we don't know how that's going to turn out yet.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people that are introverts more than extroverts.
Yeah.
Just because of like
more than ever.
A lot of friendships are over a screen.
Yeah.
And like how many times do like you might know someone's voice, you're playing video games with them, but it's not the same as like hanging out with them.
No.
Even as playing the same game in the room or 2 different games in the same room or whatever, it's still not the same interactions and the socialism that needs to happen.
Yeah. Good old socialism definitely needs to
happen. Yeah. Just slide that in there.
Yeah. There. Oh, what's your liberal agenda, Justin? You just said the socialism needs to happen, guys. But oh man, we did an hour too.
All right,
we can wrap it up, man.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for listening. Feel free to comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, like,
subscribe.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, Wednesday. Back on Wednesdays.
Yeah. All right.
So,
night, everybody. See you. Oh, I hope we didn't stop streaming. Oh, wait 1 second.